Dear students, in this video I am going to explain the second module of building materials and construction, that is foundation and masonry. So it has a syllabus in two parts, that is foundation and masonry. The foundation parts gives the information regarding the preliminary investigation of soil, safe bearing capacity of soil, function and requirements of good foundation, types of foundation, introduction to spread, combined, strap, mat and pile foundation. So the masonry part contains definition, terms used in masonry, brick masonry, characteristics and requirements of good brick masonry, bonds in brickwork, header, structure, English, Flemish bond, stone masonry, requirements of good stone masonry, classification, characteristics of different stone masonry, joints in stone masonry, and the last is types of walls. So that includes load bearing wall, partition wall and cavity walls. First I'll start with the foundation. So the introduction. So building is an assemblage of various structural components like beams, columns, slabs and footings which resist deformation caused due to external loads. So therefore, building are means of transferring forces and moments. So it has two major parts. So the one is substructure. It means the structural components which are constructed below the ground level are called substructures. So one which you cannot see from the outside. So that is called a substructure, which is below the ground level. The superstructure means the structural components which are constructed above the ground level are called superstructures, which you can see from the outside. So these are the two major parts, substructure and superstructure. So the foundation comes in a substructure part. So it is a substructure which transmits the load of the superstructure to the underlying soil. So whatever the loads comes from the superstructure will directly transfer to the soil through foundation or substructure. So it is the most critical part of the building which is to be designed carefully, and the soil on which foundation rests is called foundation bed. So actually in a building construction, the foundation part is most important, and the decision should be taken very carefully in site. Okay, and what are the objectives? The objectives of studying this foundation: to study the basic part of the building, to study the requirement of good foundation, to gain the knowledge of types of foundation. Actually, it is a very vast subject. You will find individual subjects in higher semesters regarding foundations. So this is only a very basic on that. So the objectives are to study the basic parts of the foundation, and the second is to study the requirement of good foundation. There may be a number of foundations or the type of foundations you may come across, but so whichever is the good that has to select it for the particular building, and gain the knowledge on types of the foundation. There are numerous types of foundation in which you have to select which is suited for that particular building or particular soil condition. So the main purpose of the foundation, why it is constructed, what is the main purpose? So one is to distribute the load from the building over a larger area. So whatever the load comes from the superstructure, it is high in number or in quantity, it has to distribute to the larger area. So it is based on the type of the foundation. So through the foundation, you can spread to the larger area and you can reduce the pressure on the soil. Next is to load the substratum, that is below the ground level, evenly so as to prevent unequal settlement. So regarding the settlement, we are going to study in later modules. But here what happens is there are the two types of settlement, equal and unequal settlement. So equal settlement is there is a movement, vertical movement of the building which is uniform, that is same in all directions. If it is unequal means if it is or the movement of the foundation is not uniform in with respect to the other side or other corner of the building, then it is called unequal settlement and it is dangerous than the equal settlement. So that's why to load the substratum evenly so as to prevent the unequal settlement. So to take the structure sufficiently deep into the ground to prevent the overturning. So here you cannot just transfer the load just below the ground level wherever you want. It is not like that. You have to find the strength of the soil at that particular depth. So then you have to decide whether it is sufficient or not, or whether the soil can take the pressure from this load. So then you have to decide. So to take the structure sufficiently deep into the ground, it depends on the soil condition. It is not the same for all to prevent the overturning of the structure. So next is the, before the foundation is decided, it is necessary to determine the characteristics of the soil at the site of construction. So this is done by the conducting the soil investigations. So generally it is done by the agencies, that is soil investigation agencies. So they will conduct the test at the site wherever you want to construct the structure. So they will give the value. What is the safe bearing capacity? How much load you can apply at what depth? So based on that, it is decided what type of the foundation. Of course, the cost also comes because when you, some type of foundations are cheaper, some are very costly. So depending upon the requirement, depending upon the load comes on the structure, so the type of the foundation is decided. So these are all the main purpose of the foundation. One is to distribute the load from the building over a larger area. Second is to load the substratum evenly so as to prevent unequal settlement. Next is to take the structure sufficiently deep into the ground to prevent the overturning. Next is before a foundation is decided, it is necessary to determine the characteristics of the soil at the site of construction. So this is done by conducting the soil investigations. So what are the requirement of the foundation? So these are all the requirement of foundation. We'll see one by one. First is a location. So the foundation should be located in such a way that it is able to resist any unexpected future influence which may adversely affect the future performance. The foundation should be located in such a way that it is able to resist any unexpected future influence that may be because of the rise in a water table, or it may be due to some other like earthquakes or any other influence on the soil condition. So that risk has to be taken care, or you should be safe regarding all these unexpected conditions which may occur in future. So the location must be important. That is the location settlement. Here you are going to find the SBC, or it should be on a safer side. Next is a stability. The foundation structure should be constructed to sustain the dead and imposed loads and transmit these loads to subsoil in such a way that the pressure on the soil should not cause any settlements and should be provide stability to the structure. I hope you know the meaning of stability. Should be stable. Okay. The foundation structure should be constructed to sustain the dead and imposed loads. Dead is its own weight. Imposed load is the live loads, and transmit these loads to the subsoil in such a way that the pressure on the soil should not cause any settlements and should be provide stability to the structure. And next is a settlement. The foundation base should be rigid so as to the differential settlements are minimized. So here differential settlement is nothing but it's a uneven settlement. So that should be minimized at any cost. We should not allow the foundation should go under this differential settlement. It should be rigid. The foundation should be taken sufficiently deep to protect the building from the damage caused due to the swelling or shrinkage of the soil, subsoils. So it means the foundation should be in a deep, sufficiently deep to protect the building from the damage caused by the swelling. It is because of the water table, high rise in a water table or shrinkage of a subsoil. That is a draining of water again. Okay, in different time, it may be in a rainy season or in a dry season. So these changes will be there in a soil. This is natural. So it has to withstand for both conditions. So these are the causes of failure of foundation. So before we deciding the foundation for a particular type of soil or for a building, so all the aspects has to be studied. So what are the requirements, what are the functions, and what are the causes of failure. Okay, all should be studied thoroughly. Then only we have to decide the type of foundation. So non-uniform settlement of subsoil and masonry. There may be a chance or common cause, alternative swelling and shrinkage of subsoil, that is for different opposite conditions. One is the water content is increasing and another is drying of the soil. Okay. Next is action of weathering agencies like sun, rain, wind and earthquake forces, etc. This also will disturb the foundation actually. Sun, rain, wind and earthquake forces. So next is root of trees and shrubs which penetrate into the soil, which has a more affinity towards the water, which may lead the failure of the foundation. Actually, this you will find in, you can see these type of problems in older structures where the structures are constructed just close to the large trees which grow for long years. So what happens is the root will go penetrate inside the building, or it inside the building means inside the foundation, because it grows. Okay, so that will leads to crack in the foundation, and finally there will be a failure which you cannot see actually from the outside. So these are all the different causes of failure of foundation.